We're back.
That sounds like Trent Razor to me.
Yes, we are back. I couldn't hear myself. We have Brian Regan. Let's bring Brian in. He's outside. We had to take a break. Our pal Brian Regan is here.
It's been a long time.
It has been a long time. We haven't had him on the news show.
Not at all.
He was.
He's going to be at Carnegie Hall this Saturday.
Hi, Brian.
Brian Regan.
Hey.
What time is your show Saturday?
I don't know.
Okay, you're at Carnegie Hall on Saturday night.
Yes.
And you also have a Netflix special. When is your Netflix special?
It's
November 21st.
November 21st.
What'd you call it?
Nunchucks and flamethrowers.
Why that?
I just picked 2 words at random out of the dictionary. No, it's a punchline from one of the jokes in the middle of my show. So,
do you have a hard time picking a name for? I never know what to call something.
Yes. It's that's the hardest part of the whole thing. You do an hour, you work on it for a couple of years, and then they go, "What are you going to title it?" And it's like, I don't know, man. It's like when you go to a museum and you see this beautiful painting and it's just called Woman Walking.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I painted the whole goddamn thing. I'm not going to sit here and figure out what I'm going to name it.
It's a woman. She's walking, you know?
It's also like if you're naming it after your punchlines, like your previous specials, like people have their favorite jokes set out from those specials.
Right.
So it's like you have to figure out before anybody sees it which one is going to be that joke that people are going to be like, because otherwise they're like, why didn't you name it after that joke? I like the other one.
Yeah, I don't like. I also don't like coming up with track titles. Do you have to do that when you come out with a?
Yeah, I never.
CD I've never enjoyed it.
No, because sometimes you go with the most. Sometimes it's the first couple you try to be funny and and clever and get something that people go, oh, that's a great name, and then 4 specials and it's Woman Walking. That's what you call it, just to get it done and name it.
Yeah,
I remember the first CD. I had to come up with track titles, and I was on a flight, and there was like a deadline, so I wrote down all these track titles and. This was before cell phones, and I got to some airport, and I had to get on a payphone and call the person who was going to put the track titles down. And I'm at a payphone with other people listening to me say, Monster Trucks, Donut Lady, Stupid in School. I can only imagine what these people around me go, what the hell is this guy talking about?
Like,
It's got to be a drug deal or something, you know?
like, is this some kind of like CIA code? Is this how you get in the building?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, put me on with the Monster Truck Donut Hole.
Did you name your tour now? You're on a tour. It's probably a lot of different material. Did you name this tour?
No. When I first went out, when I first started playing like the larger places, I was told to put a title on the tour. So I did that for the first year and then the second year, but I don't like it because people think that hour of material is that title. You know, so I just go, Brian Regan, I'm performing, in concert.
That's a better idea. I named mine just because they told me to, but I probably won't again until the special comes out. There's no reason to. You're right.
Is the thinking that if you don't name it, people aren't going to realize it's a different show than the last time you were in town?
I think they just like it for marketing reasons. There's some clever, cutesy title on there, and they could say such and such tour. But I cringe at it, I'd rather, it's just, if they don't want to come see me without some title, then I don't want them coming.
I probably wish I had followed that suggestion because I had a hard time this time. I'm like, I just didn't want to, the idea of naming the tour before the special. It's like, you just name the special. That's all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just want to name it.
What is the name of your tour?
Kneeling Room Only. Just wish I had
Kneeling Room Only?
It doesn't have anything. It doesn't have anything to do with the national anthem.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, no.
I'm not politicizing.
It's not. It's not.
No.
Matter of fact, Jim was on that kneeling thing way before anybody in the NFL
You bet I was. You bet I was. If you see a skirt with a little fella kneeling under it and a large hand on the back of the head, so
a whole different connotation.
You bet it is. So has your act
He's
changed at
still
all?
singing the national anthem down there. It's really weird.
I'm humming it. Yeah. Has your act changed at all as you've gotten older at all? Because like I've watched some of your older stuff recently, and it's like you're definitely a different guy now than you were 20 years ago.
I try to evolve, I try to talk about things that interest me, I'm talking about Kim Jong-un and guns and things that would surprise people. But I also like to talk about just mundane stuff as well. So a little of everything.
Is it hard for people to accept it from you? Like if you talk about other stuff, or they're cool with it?
I think they might be a little. I don't know. I don't know, but I can't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you
know what I
take
mean?
a stance, or you just say, is it just jokes?
I try to be crafty, like the gun stuff. I say that I'm in the middle on guns. And then I have this thing about how I go to big meetings for people in the middle on guns, and like I'm the only guy in the ballroom, because people are either one way or the other. And then I have this thing about when people try to explain, and this is true. I don't understand the difference between an assault weapon and a non-assault weapon. And anytime somebody explains the difference on TV, I'm always more confused at the end of the explanation. It's always some guy going, yeah, you got people out there trying to tell you that a 227 4 double action bolt 16 clip with a 40 mag is somehow supposed to be the same as a 427 single pull double action 32 clip with a 34 pull. That's like saying a 422 227 hunting rifle with a detachable scope and a 17 clip is supposed to be the same as a 427 single action double bolt 14 mag. And I'm like, do you have a bucket for my melting brain?
Yeah, I didn't get the instruction manual before the segment.
Yeah, and it's true. Whenever it's explained, I don't know what the heck they're talking about.
Do you like? Are you happy? You're in Vegas. I think of you a lot because like how easy your flights must be. Being in Vegas, you can fly anywhere at any time. There's always a fucking plane leaving Las Vegas.
And I'm always flying against the grain. I'm flying out when people are coming in. So I don't have to wait in lines. I'm going. Everyone's going to Vegas for the weekend. That's when I'm leaving Vegas.
Oh, right.
So I don't have to get in those huge security lines.
How do you avoid the gambling and all that stuff and all the vices?
I don't. I drink. I womanize.
Oh, and I love you, but there's nothing I'd love more than you being busted. Like the fucking senator in Godfather 2, just dead hooker in the.
Yeah, that would be fun. No, I mean I don't. I gamble like I like to play blackjack every now and then.
You do,
but yeah, but not a lot.
Well, how long will you sit at the table for if you go to do it?
Until I'm down enough where it's time for me to head home.
Really?
Yeah, I occasionally go into those high limit rooms, where you can act like a big shot.
By the way, this is skirting very far away from the original statement of, every now and then I sit down at the blackjack table.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the high limit rooms, but once a month, I'll go in there.
What are the high limit rooms? What's the limit on a high limit room?
$100 a hand. And
wait, $100 a hand is the limit on a high limit room?
You can't bet less than that.
Oh, I think you're saying. I think you're saying the high limit.
Same thing. Yeah.
Okay, I was
Same
like, wow,
thing.
where are you fucking gambling? Somalia?
It's the bottom limit.
That's the bottom. Okay,
Yeah.
and how many hands at a time will you play?
Just one.
Okay,
Yeah.
one at a time. All right.
And but if I'm down like 1,000, then I just go home. I'm not going to hurt myself.
1,000 now because Brian's a humble guy. That means if he's down 10,000,
Right.
Brian's
Do the Regan math.
yeah. Brian's
Reaganomics.
Brian's a humble guy. He's not going to come in and brag about the money he makes. But if he's down 10 G's, he's going to go.
Everybody has like one moment where they're just like, you know what, screw it, let's get crazy. Well, is there an amount, the most that you've spent on one hand that isn't typical?
The most I've ever bet on a hand is $500.
Is that right?
Yeah. But that I will only do that if I'm up. Like if
Right.
I'm up like $700, then I'll risk it and put $500, and then I'll lose. Yeah, I really don't gamble that much. It's like every once in a while.
Where were you raised?
Miami, Florida.
You were okay.
Yes.
Your parents living?
My dad recently passed away. He passed away about 5 months ago. And
Oh shit! Sorry, man.
that's all right. He was 90, lived a good long life, and my mom is still around. She's 90.
Wow. Was it expected or was it sudden when he died?
I think when you're 90, it's
You kind of always are waiting for it. Yeah, I guess so. Right.
Yeah.
you just kind of wait for the phone call.
Yeah, I guess that's
Every time the phone rings, you're like, "Oh, I got to call the travel agent." Hello, because you got to travel. Yeah.
That's right. Anytime my oldest brother would call, like over the last 5 years, I always thought that was like the call. You know
did,
what I mean? But
that is the age where people stop asking cause of death. Right? They're like, he was 90, and they're like, nobody goes like, well, oh, how did it
That's
happen?
right.
You go, he was 90.
what's weird? I don't even know what is the technical I don't.
Right,
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, he just
that's the end.
Just kind of stopped.
Well, sometimes someone's in the hospital for 6 months and they're like, all right. And then other times they're like, no, they had a heart attack and they just, we knew it, but we weren't expecting it today.
Right. But so anyway, I figure once you get to 90, you've won the race, So he had a good long life, and my mom's still kicking around.
She is, right?
Yeah.
What did he do?
My dad was an accountant for Eastern Airlines. Yes.
Fucking Eastern Air. When
Remember
did they?
Eastern?
I do. I wish I didn't, and I don't want to fuck any girl that does. I like them young.
Got it.
Yeah. So what year did Eastern Airlines go belly up?
I don't know exactly, but they went bankrupt. There was a strike. The machinists were on strike or something like that, and then they finally just went bankrupt. It was a weird thing because, like, these people were on strike, and they wanted the higher ups wanted them to settle, and then the airline said, "We don't have any money. We're going bankrupt." And then all the people who were on strike started cheering and celebrating, and I found that weird.
Why were they celebrating?
I don't know. It's like, all right, we took the airline down, but everybody's out of a job.
Yeah,
now.
we were. Our jobs were to not let that happen, right?
Celebrate for an hour, and then where are you going?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're not going to work.
Yeah.
So
You throw a party, and then the bill comes, and they're all looking around like, "Well, I don't have a job anymore. I'm not paying for this."
Was he out of work for a while or no?
Yeah. He started a business when he was done with Eastern Airlines, seal coating driveways in Miami, Florida. Now, why an older guy would want to be out in the hot sun
Miami.
seal coating driveways is beyond me. My brother Dennis?
Yeah.
My brother Dennis, he's a stand-up, but he worked with my dad for a while, and they were seal coating a parking lot in Miami, Florida, and they said this car pulled up with 4 guys in it. This is Miami, Florida now. And the guys honked the horn, and Dennis looked over, and these guys said, "What's the next state?" And they said, "What? What's the next state?" And Dennis goes, "Georgia." And they said, "Thanks." And they took off.
What an odd, so weird.
They must have committed some crime, and they thought if they crossed the state line, they'd be free or something.
Or what are the state laws?
But it's
Okay,
7
Georgia,
hours
I think-
away. It's 7 hours away to Georgia.
It doesn't depend on which way you're going.
There is no other state going the other way.
Right.
Oh, I
water.
meant Panhandle to the left. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. You're going north.
They're in Miami, Florida.
That's so good. What's
So
the
they
next state? And it's like,
then
not
said,
for a
"Which
while.
way? What's the next state?" Dennis goes, "Georgia." They said, "Which way?" So he pointed north, and they said, "Thanks," and took off. So
That away.
That's somebody still in the commission of a crime. That's not the crime is done. Something is still happening.
Right. There's a lot of adrenaline coursing through the brain at that point.
yeah, they didn't plan the getaway.
And Brian's at Carnegie Hall. It's this Saturday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
8
So
o'clock,
if you
okay.
want to catch Brian this Saturday, 8 o'clock.
And if you can't make it out, then the Netflix special is November 21st, Nunchucks and Flamethrowers. I saw you too on Loudermilk.
Ah,
I saw the first few episodes of it, and it struck me as a very non-Brian Regan character.
he said you're great in it.
well, that's very
Yeah.
nice to hear. It's a Peter Farrelly directed series. Peter Farrelly and Bobby Mort created it. It's a 10-episode series on DirecTV's Audience Network. It's called Loudermilk, and it's about substance abuse.
Right.
And I play a guy recovering from substance abuse and womanizing.
So,
No,
have you because you haven't done a lot of stuff that's
no.
out of your kind of ballpark, out of character for you.
The only other acting I had done was that Chris Rock Top 5 movie. I had
Right.
a tiny part in that, which was shot in
right.
the studios
Right.
here.
A couple other people in this room have a little
Yeah,
cameo in that too.
you're in there, right?
Well, you know.
So that was the only other thing I had done, and then I did this Loudermilk thing. It's 10 episodes, and it was kind of cool, man.
Were you avoiding acting, or was it just not happening?
No one wanted me to do anything.
No,
I was going to a lot of auditions, so I wasn't avoiding it.
it's so weird.
I wasn't getting anything.
You've been so successful in stand-up for so long, though. Like, you've been doing theaters and you would think that people would be like, Let's get this
You
guy
have
to do some
you have a
shit.
Carlin-like career though, which was so much, but a tremendously successful stand-up career.
Right.
We were doing huge theaters. You're making a great living. You're doing TV. Like as a stand-up, that you really can't get any higher. So the acting stuff is like fine, but you don't need it.
Right.
That's kind of, well, I mean, I appreciate that. That's kind of where it came to. I always thought I wanted to get on some acting thing to get to the point where I could play larger venues. And then when I was able to play the larger venues without doing it, it was like I didn't really need anything else, but I just like it for the fun of it now. You know?
You do.
Right.
You enjoy it, and it's one of those things where I like it if the script is good or if I like it, but there's so much of it you read, like, ugh,
Yeah.
just fucking terrible.
Right.
Did you read for this or they offered it to you?
He just offered it to me. He saw me do stand-up. Jackie Flynn, another comedian, brought Peter Farrelly to watch me perform. I was at this I Love Lucy Comedy Festival in Jamestown, New York.
Oh, of course. The I Love Lucy Comedy Festival.
That's Jesus.
Jamestown's I Love Lucy Comedy Festival.
You know you made it when you're playing the I Love Lucy
They
Comedy
wouldn't let me do that thing because I did the Carol Burnett boat tour.
Right. I guess Lucille Ball is from near Jamestown, New York, so they have a comedy festival. It's actually a pretty cool festival. Anyway, so Peter Farrelly saw me perform there and said he was doing this series and asked if I wanted to be in it. And I was like, usually when people tell you things like that, they just walk. They walk that way, and you walk this way, and you never hear from them again. But he followed through.
Don't you find there's less pressure with that too? Like if somebody already likes you and they go, no, I want you to do it. Like, oh, okay, cool. They just they know I can do it. I don't have to.
They want me to be me.
Yeah. So there's less pressure associated with that.
Exactly.
It is funny though because like you go to Montreal and like the young comics are like, yeah, man, it used to be like you do this and somebody would find you and they discover you and it's just not happening anymore and blah blah blah. But then. It's because everybody's getting discovered at the I Love Lucy Comedy Festival. that's where all the gigs are coming.
Yeah, everybody's going to the wrong city, man. Nothing's happening in Montreal. It's all I Love Lucy now.
In Jamestown.
Jamestown, New York.
Montreal is the weirdest place too because you go to the festival and there's that bar and then comics like I'm going to take another walk around the bar and it's like nothing's going to happen there.
Right.
It's fine if you want to see some friends or just do gigs, but it's not fucking 1995. You stop it.
You're just hanging
the
out.
agent doesn't give a shit about you. You're talking to him for 10 minutes and he's going to forget you were alive 10 minutes later.
I was in Montreal one time and this guy came up to me and he's chatting with me and I didn't know who he was and but I'm just being sociable, friendly, and we were talking for 5 minutes and then the guy goes, what do you book again? Well, and I said, I don't book anything. He goes, oh, I thought you were a booker. What? I said, no, I'm a comedian. I'm a stand-up comedian. And he goes, and he just turned around and walked away.
Oh my God.
Don't you wish you knew who that was?
He just turned like I meant nothing to him from that point on. Like this guy can do nothing for me. He didn't even say goodbye. He just turned around and walked away.
Well, he's not going to waste 3 seconds. Saying goodbye.
Yeah.
And he felt like an asshole because he was doing his fucking best pitch to another comic. How humiliating.
Yeah, I'll try to make a call for you, buddy. But
did you ever cross paths with him again?
I don't remember. I don't even know what the guy looked like.
Dude, can you imagine turning the charm on and like doing the dance that we do for people that can help us, and you realize that's a fucking comic. What am I doing?
That's the lowest man on the totem pole right there.
Yeah.
I did an industry showcase a long time ago, and my manager, who's great, Rory Rosegarten, fantastic guy. But we were new with each other, and he didn't really know my personality yet. He said, all right, I want you to go stand by the door as everyone's leaving, like all the industry people. And I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I don't want anything that bad. I don't want anything that bad where I'm standing by a door as people are walking out. That just seems very...
It's desperate. It's desperate.
Sitting there with your hands in your pockets, swaying back and forth like, hey guys, remember from the stage from before?
I'd rather not get a TV show than get one.
And here's the difference between me and Brian. He's saying that, and as he's saying that, like today in 2017, I'm making a mental note. Stand by the door. That's a great idea. My manager never suggested that. I don't even like industry. I don't even like doing industry comps. Like I always say that. Like I don't want to do comps for the industry because half the time they don't come. There's an empty table and they're shitty in the audience because I just don't want them to come. I don't enjoy when they're there. It's not comfortable. They're not typically fun.
Especially when you're on stage.
Yeah.
And you see an empty table and you're like, that's the industry table. And like you know as you're performing, Nope, they didn't show up.
I did the Viper Room probably 2008.
Whoa, rock and roll Jimmy.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I was the first comedian to do it, but I mean, you guys talk among yourself. And
Hollywood.
Yeah, you're talking on 200 seats a clip. But there was an empty table because it's so small, and I knew exactly the industry that never came. I knew the agent. I still remember his name, and I will still go nowhere near that agency because I fucking hate this guy so much for making a big deal about getting tickets. The agents that ask for tickets and then don't even have the courtesy to say, look, I can't make it, it's an unforgivable, shitty thing to do.
Yeah. Not fun. So you were the first comedian to perform at the Viper Room?
I believe so, at least unless my agent lied to me, which
He
is
might have.
highly possible.
Yeah, just make you feel good.
The first one to do a weekend there.
That's cool.
Probably people come out in 1978 and go, oh, you fucking liar. So Andy Kaufman did it. I'm like, all right, I didn't know.
Something will pop up on the internet, first comedian ever to perform, not Jim Norton.
Yeah, I'm a 37th one and the worst selling.
Yeah.
It was a bad weekend because a real comedian canceled. Some humiliating story that I never knew existed.
The industry was there. That table was empty because you couldn't sell the tickets.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. maybe my agent just blamed somebody else and said that they didn't come.
You ever fill in for somebody? I had to fill in for somebody one time at a show. I'm on stage. I was bombing. So I get off stage and I'm like, what the hell just happened? And somebody came up to me and said, how come you didn't make us act like chickens and stuff? And I said, what? And they showed me the table tent. The guy I replaced was a comedy hypnotist, but they didn't tell the audience. So they thought that I was a hypnotist. They were probably just wondering, when is he going to stop doing these stupid jokes and bring us on stage? And,
I'm here to be amazed.
Yeah, and do some goofy stuff.
That's humiliating. And that's annoying that they just didn't tell you. You could have addressed that in the first 2 minutes.
I know. I could have said, hey, on your table tent it says comedy hypnotist. I'm not that. And
Those people bought tickets specifically for a hypnotism show. They couldn't find a hypnotist to replace the guy. There's just the one comedy hypnotist.
Yeah, well, people make big mistakes.
Have you snapped at an audience at all in recent years? Because you're such an affable guy on stage and so funny, but there's got to be at least the occasional drunken dick, even at your show.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, well, not so much in the theaters because people, they're paying for a ticket and other people don't. But the comedy club level, yeah, I would. I didn't do it a lot, but I snapped occasionally. Pre YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
Pre YouTube snap.
So you're conscious of that though? Like you're like, nope, YouTube exists. I won't be, even if something happens, you're like, I'm not going to be doing anything that I don't want on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, because that stuff can take your career down, you know what I mean? But I've gotten angry before.
Yeah, it happens once in a while, and I guess especially if you're doing something out of character by being angry and yelling at people.
Right.
But I can't see. I mean, Brian, if you haven't seen, he's at town hall. I mean, I'm at town hall on Saturday, but it's after Brian, so you can go see him first.
You see Jim pretend to flub that so he could plug his own
I actually
gig?
did flub that. I was going to plug him because Carnegie's a bigger gig, and I'm surprised. If you're not sold out, you're probably very close to it. So if you want to see Brian at 8 o'clock, he's brilliant. And
Thank you.
It's literally the most universal comic I've ever seen. Comedians fucking shit on everyone. You're one of the only guys, you and Attell and maybe Colin are the only guys I've never heard comics shit on. Like your audience, the fucking bikers, black people, white people, old, it's the most universal audience any comedian has, I think.
I appreciate it very much.
And it's really, really funny, man. And Brian's a guy that other comedians watch, and it doesn't matter who you are, you'll enjoy him. So if you want to see him on Saturday night, and then if you really want to drop off after, like if you need sorbet after a brilliant show, come to Town Hall, and I'll go, that's right, it's not all Brian Regan.
When did you first realize that like you had jokes that were resonating to the point that you had to do? Because I saw you, I mean, it was years ago, it was in Syracuse, and you're performing at a theater, but you did the thing at the end where you allowed people to request bits, which was, I think, partly so that they didn't shout them out
during the regular show. Right.
But like that you had people that were so attached to specific bits that you had to do that, because not all comics in this room have to do that.
It's very flattering. It's very flattering, that's for sure. But I don't like it during the main part of my show because it's like probably like you, we want to do the most recent stuff, you know.
You
so-
are.
Although I'm sure, Jim, like you have like Monster Rain and Chip Chipperson being shouted at
People
you.
yell out Monster Rain a lot, and Chip Chipperson, they'll yell, but I always say I'll do them at the end if people don't yell. And then people are cool with that, too, because it's a stupid character. But if I do Chip early, it's just unfollowable, and they hate my guts.
And
You can't follow Chip?
No.
I want them to yell that at my show.
Chip Chipperson.
They will.
I just created a nightmare because I know somebody now is going to yell that.
Brian is daring you to yell Chip stuff. So if anybody yells sock cucka or you piece of garbage, you've asked for it.
Show us your pecker.
Yeah.
Oh,
People are literally now buying tickets to Carnegie Hall so that they can do
They
the
can
Chip
just
thing.
yell Chip thing. And how long is your show? What do you do, about an hour and 15, hour and a half?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why I like 65 minutes. I don't know why I wrap my head around that. I like to do 65
That's great.
minutes.
An hour.
And then I do an encore after that.
What do you do in the encore? I never do encores. I'm so happy to get out of there with them clapping. I'm like, thank God. I'm not pushing my luck. Fucking beating it.
You just run for the door.
Dude, when they're clapping, I'm like, all right, nothing. You got nothing left.
You would think that feeling would go away at some point.
Dude, it's amazing. I walk off and I'm like, I'm so happy that they enjoy. I'm so afraid they're not going to enjoy it. What do you do in your encore? Do you do material or old stuff or just talk to them?
It depends. I mean, I go out, and if they shout stuff out, then I'll try to do a couple of older bits. If they don't shout out, then I just have a couple of things I can go to.
How long is your encore?
5-10 minutes.
Okay, you
yeah,
just go out
I
there.
don't do a long thing.
And do it again. And it sounds it's such a stupid and fruity question. Are you comfortable at this point? I still have. There's moments where I walk out and I'm like, I'm completely confident and comfortable. And then there's other days where I'm like, I'm fucking a fraud and I'm nervous and I feel frightened. Like, do you still have that at all, or are you completely beyond that?
No, I just had some pretty humbling experiences last Saturday. I was doing some guest spots at the Laugh Factory in Las Vegas, good comedy club.
Sure.
And but Fallon this week are canceled. So I was just running my set in front of
Really?
audiences that didn't know anything about me, and ate it.
Really?
Yeah. It's very it's weird.
Wait, were you just going on as a guest spot?
Yeah. I was just doing the 5 minutes, the 5 minutes that was supposed to be.
Who was headlining? It was like Cedric the Entertainer. It was like not your audience, or was it?
Michael Davis, a comedian juggler.
Okay.
He was the headliner, and he's gracious enough to let me do 5 minutes, and
By the way, do you know how shitty it is as a headliner when like Brian Regan wants to go on? You're like, oh no, I'm finished.
Yeah, but how much better do you feel when he eats it? When this is the one time?
I would literally work Vegas for free to watch him bomb every night.
it was so. I don't want to say like it's bizarre, like but it was weird for me, because usually I'm going on in front of people who are there to see me.
So they know you, right?
So they know me, and it's hard not to do at least okay. But if I'm going out to a room full of strangers who know nothing about me, I can be just as hit or miss as anybody else.
Doesn't it make you like there's those nights where you're like, all right, I'm sucking, but I know I can get out of it, and then you have those moments, whether it's running a set like that, where you're like, I can't get out of this. Like all the tricks I know, there's no way to pull out of this. I'm legitimately bombing, and I'm just bombing.
Right.
And I can't pull out. And it's scary, and it's also like amazing. You're like, oh yeah, that's why people are afraid of this.
Yeah,
that's what's
yeah.
scary, because you forget after a while why people are scared to do stand-up. You're like, it's great, it's comfortable, and it's fun. And then you're like, ugh. That's what it is.
Yeah, I felt like I was hit by a train. I mean, I was literally like on stage, doing the, is this on?
Just not resonating with the people.
I'm like, I hadn't had to go do that like in years, like just bombing jokes, and
what was the opening joke? Do you remember? You walk out, you say hello. They're like, you have a special guest, Brian Regan. You say hello. Do you remember what your opening line was? Or how were you opening?
Well, I do a thing about my dad recently passed away, you know what I mean? And then I do these jokes about his sense of humor. So what I did is I went out and I said, so my dad my dad recently passed away, and then the opening joke is, hey, that's a great way to start a comedy show, and hopefully they laugh at that,
Sure,
and then I go from there. Well, they didn't laugh there.
Oh.
I said, my dad recently passed away, and I said, that's a great way to start a comedy show, and they were looking at me like, no, it's not.
Wow,
It's
that's
not a good way to start a comedy show. And then I said he had a great sense of humor, and they were looking at me like, we can't get past the fact that you just told us your dad died.
Exactly, and now you are.
Yeah, I'm dying.
So when they don't laugh at that opening, do you know, like, this is going to go really poorly? If I don't have them there, I'm not going to be able to get them here.
Definitely a red alert light went on. a red alert light went on in my head. Like, well, usually I'm riding it from that point.
Yeah.
And then I started going into the bits, and they just stared at me. It was.
Did it feel like a long 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to go back and see the other comic, and the other comedians all know you're Brian Regan, but then you have to walk off. And what are you saying to the other boy?
It's very humbling, because I mean, the other comedians know who I am. The audience, I don't think, had a clue who I was. Not that I care ego-wise, but it helps
in terms of
comedians.
It helps a little,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Did you
So a week of that. Oh man, that's fun. But it's good for. Sorry to say,
Well, that's
it's
what I was
good for
gonna
you in a
ask.
way, though, isn't it? Like it's cleansing in a way. Like, yep, this can still happen. Like you're never totally beyond that.
Correct. I think if comedy was foolproof, it would be boring. It would be boring if it was 100% guaranteed. Like, I don't think a bowler would a bowler want to know he could bowl a strike every time. I think it's better to earn it. You know what I mean? It feels better. So I don't know why I'm using a bowling metaphor.
That is pretty much what we do. I mean, we knock down the pins with laughter.
That doesn't make any sense.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't.
It's a perfect analogy.
Yes.
So on some level, are you like, I got to do more of these little guest spot things so that this happens more, so I get reminded of it? Or
I think
you
I have
like,
to do
never.
less.
Yeah,
I have
less.
to do less.
Less.
Because it's very crushing and humbling.
So the idea of it being, it's actually, there is some good to it. You're like, but that doesn't mean I want to do it ever again.
I wanted to close my set with, what's the next state? And then just
And then run to
and
it.
then run to the next state.
Hey, when you're in an interview, when someone asks you, and I got asked this in an interview, someone says to you, what makes you laugh? Like, I'll sometimes mention comedians, but a lot of times, and I say this honestly, I'll say a comedian bombing makes me laugh. And it's not to be hip or but it literally just, I guess because you relate to it so much and you get Chris it. Rock will and go it's on.
so
So different and so funny. But to watch a guy up there, especially a guy you know is good, just eating his dick, and you watch them trying to use the tricks that work, and none of those tricks are working.
Right.
It really makes me laugh to have to watch.
It makes you feel good, not because you want to see somebody die, but it's comforting to know it can happen to any of us. You know what I mean?
It is comforting to know, and I've seen like every good comedian. I've seen Chappelle eat his dick, and Chris Rock will go on. Damon Wayans was legendary. He'd walk on and bomb for an hour, just talking and working through stuff, and you're like, that's why he's a great comic, because he doesn't care. Like he cares about the material, but he's not afraid of getting stared at when he's working, and that's.
I saw Gary Shandling perform at a charity thing, and he went out and wasn't doing well for like 5 minutes, but was so calm and ended up turning it around where like they were just eating out of the palm of his hand by the end of his set. And I'm thinking, I don't have that kind of comfort. You know what I mean? I would be scrambling in my head and trying to fix things.
So once the
where
ship's going down, you're going down with it. Like there's no bringing it back up.
I'm not good at that.
Yeah.
I'm not good at, whatever it starts out at, it kind of keeps going in that direction.
Well, he was probably faking it. Like, if you asked Gary about that, he probably would have said the entire time I was thinking of pumping a bullet into my head. Like, the whole time he was probably like, oh, I suck. I'm fucking You're probably panicking. It's the whole thing. It's just the lie of acting like this is exactly how it's meant to be going.
Yes.
And of course I'm not getting laughs, but I'm not expecting them at this moment.
Right.
Which is
Go into complete putting on a show mode.
What's that?
Like you're just completely putting on a show. It doesn't relate at all to what's going on in your head. You're just like, just put something out there. Make them believe something else.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's correct. You go into performance mode. It's like, okay, I do have certain tricks and things that I can do to make this look like this is what's supposed to be happening. But I wonder what that Laugh Factory audience thought. Like, I wonder if they thought does he just talk for 5 minutes? Like,
I know. Jesus.
like is this his show? He
we
just
had-
talks and no one laughs?
We had a better time watching Michael Richards at the Laugh Factory. What was he doing up there? But it's one of those things. There's times where I'll be at the Comedy Cellar and I'm just I'm doing terribly, or the new stuff is just not working, and then I'll start to get a couple of laughs, and I'll stay, like you said, you stay calm, and I'm like, you know what? In your head, you're like, okay, the material is doing nothing tonight. So what I'm working on is just the staying calm and fucking working through a bomb and turning it around. So you feel like I'm getting something out of it. Like I'm it's not a total loss. But I've actually said it to myself on stage. All right, do it. Make this a personality thing where you're just fucking walking through it and seeing if you can get them from a total bomb. Because otherwise, I'm just going to get frustrated and sabotage it.
Get something out of it.
Get something out of it. I mean, but I'm happy to hear it happens to you. I mean, Jesus Christ, if it happens to Regan, it can happen to any of us.
You are. It made your day a little bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would love to see more. That's a really rare thing.
That never happened in the theaters.
No, of course not.
Usually no.
Right.
No, because they have a ticket with your name on it.
Right.
They know who you are. You know what I mean?
Do you work out by going on, like, would you actually write shit down, or you just go on and try an idea that you have?
I have like bullet points of new things I want to hit, and I try to sandwich them in between stronger stuff and give it a shot. But that's one thing that's good about comedy is when it is going well, one bit that doesn't work is fine because you can just joke about it not working.
Yeah, and you can acknowledge it. That's why acting is hard, because you can't acknowledge.
Right.
Like, oh boy, I'm not believable. And the rest of it.
That's right. Like an airline pilot can't joke about messing up going, man, I did not see that mountain.
Yeah, if you fuck up at your job.
Yeah, but we can mess up at our job and joke about it, and people go, yeah, okay, that's funny, I guess.
And you can kind of talk about it. Which do you ever do stuff like where you like, because you make a good living? Do you ever do stuff where you're like, oh God, if my fans could see me bitching about this, like, and there are times where they'll call me out, and I'm like, they're right. You know what I mean? Like, I've bitched about. Sometimes I'm justified to bitch about the airlines because they're a service industry and they suck. But then guys will go, shut up. You fly everywhere in the country and and your life is good. Shut the fuck up. And then you're like, he has a point too. Like they're luxury problems. Some of the things, like I'm complaining that the hotel suite I'm in doesn't have feather pillows. Like I really am a douche. That's true.
I tweeted one time. I was on a plane and I was frustrated because we had landed and it took them like 20 minutes to get to the gate. So I tweeted about, it's great to land on time and not be able to, I was frustrated. And then somebody tweeted back Louis C.K.'s bit. Making fun of people like me complaining, and it actually was. It put me on the right track, because it was like, you know what, they're right. I just flew somewhere. I'm sitting on a plane for 20 minutes. Life is fine.
They are correct, and Louis' bit was brilliant. I think he did it on Conan about you're in a chair in the sky. Right. However, when I was at LAX and they didn't have a gate ready, and we had to pull off to the side of the tarmac and sit for 2 hours. They could have sent me all the Louis bits in the world. And I would have been I would have said, fuck him and his bit. 2 hours of sitting on the tarmac is inexcusable in a service. There is a point where the Louis bit is like, no, I'm right to be mad.
And if we have the technology to put chairs in the sky, we should have the technology to be able to get out of the chairs once the plane is not in the sky anymore.
I don't know why every one of those concourses doesn't have a gate that's just for unloading. The fact that you have to wait for a gate to open up before you can go in is ridiculous. If somebody lands on time, there should be some gate where at least everybody can just get off.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be assigned to what it's just.
Oh, do you mean like a spare gate?
A spare gate that if a plane is there and on time and people need to make connections, you don't have to wait for this other plane to come out before you can pull in. An exit gate.
Yeah.
I forget how they do that, though. It's all so expensive, and they have to fight hard for that space. And that, that's why certain airports, like the one airline will have all the great spots, and then like if the other airline is like in Terminal D, and you got to take a train to get to it.
Yeah.
I'm boring myself at this point. If it's any consolation, I apologize. A real serious fucking statement about airline policy. I should be fucking shot. Shut up, you fucking asshole.
You did work your way around a question into thinking like, it's not just me, right? You hate airplanes too, right?
No, but I mean, just the fact that I'm talking about terminal policy. Really, all kidding aside. Oh, fuck yourself, Jim. Who cares?
You make a good point.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
2.
You do?
18-year-old and a 14-year-old.
Daughters or sons?
A boy and a girl.
Who's older?
My son is older.
Okay, now how
He's
are
18.
you? How are you as a dad? I was going to ask you that before. Are you like, especially with the daughter and boys coming around now? Are you like a strict sit the guy down type of father?
I beat them like at the beginning of each week,
Right.
for what they're going to do.
Oh, so all right,
Because I have like scheduling issues because I travel.
Yeah.
So I beat them on Mondays.
Yeah.
Because I know they're going to do something wrong. I know there's a lot of people out there going, he shouldn't be doing beating jokes.
No, they're saying it's a great idea. What you're saying, it's very practical. They're admiring your.
Just like that, it's not you're ahead of the game. It's not like I have to beat them on Monday for what they did over the weekend.
Yeah.
No. You have to stay ahead of this stuff.
I'd like to think I'm a decent dad. I try to be. So who knows?
Are you strict? I'm saying, are you more of a strict or are you kind of like, let them breathe a little, or do you?
I'm not super strict. I remember putting my son in timeout when he was a kid because I'm certainly never going to lay a hand on my children, but putting him in timeout, and he looked over. He was like 2, and just gave me a look that was like. It just crushed me, and I went, get out of timeout.
Oh, you couldn't do it.
Get out of timeout. You're never going in timeout again.
So you don't hit your kids either. Like the message has gotten out. Like, you know what I mean? Our father. Did your parents hit you?
Don't hit your kids?
But I'm saying, like, our generation, our parents hit us. I got soap in the mouth. I got hit. Did you get hit as a kid?
My dad would slap our hand. He would say, "Put your hand out," and then he would take his watch off. We didn't want Dad to take his watch off. My dad had a bad hand. He was in an accident when he was younger, so he only had one good hand, and he had to take the watch off that good hand to slap us, and we had to put our hand out, and he would just slap it hard. But if you pulled your hand down, that would really get him riled, man. So you had to just stand there and take the slaps.
Would it be for justifiable reasons?
Yeah, but when you look back on it, it wasn't like horrible. It was just slapping you on the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and it's weird how that was so normal, and then parents now are like, no, I don't hit at all. I guess it is kind of fucked. It is fucked up if you're out and you see somebody slap their kids. Like, ugh. Shouldn't be laughing at this, but
I had. so watching kids get hit and watching comedians bomb, it's like
my two great joys. Until it's my turn to be funny, and then let's discuss the airline, the serious tone.
There are financial reasons why the gate situation. I went to Catholic school, and the nuns would hit us, and one day I had a horrible sunburn, and I asked my mom to write a note asking my teacher, the nun, to not hit me that day because of my sunburn. And I don't know why the note wasn't, please don't ever hit my son.
Right. No.
Please don't hit my son today.
Right.
Because he's got a bad sunburn.
Not until it starts to peel. Once it starts to peel, all bets are off.
Did she write the note?
Yeah, my mom wrote the note. Please don't hit my son today because he's got a bad sunburn. I wish I kept that.
Yeah, that's a great note. Did it work?
Listen? Yeah, did it?
No. I was at the board, and I couldn't solve a problem, which of course requires a beating,
corporal punishment.
So she was slapping me on the back. You should know this answer, and then she remembered that she wasn't supposed to hit me.
Oh no! Good to see you, Ralph.
Yeah. So she told me not to tell my mom. She said, "Don't tell your mother that I hit you."
They wonder why we're so fucked up as adults. Like that. That's a really crazy way to grow up.
Yeah. Now she's beating you and telling you not to tell your parents about it.
Like she and I are together on this.
Yeah.
We're going to keep this from your mom.
That's probably why millennials are, the way stereotypically millennials are, is because your generation all got beaten.
Yeah.
And so then you go the other way, and you guys are all parents now, raising kids that you're like, I will never do that to my kids. So many parents now just like dote on the kids. Not you guys specifically, but so many parents would dote on the kids and no real no, I don't want to. I just want to make you happy. I just want to make you happy. I just want to make you happy. And now you've got a generation of adults or young adults that have these entitlement issues because they've always gotten what they wanted because their parents got beaten up. Does that make sense?
It absolutely 100% makes sense.
Like the pendulum went too far.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Swung too far in the other direction.
So now we can only hope that to bring things back to the greatest generation that these millennials have kids and just kick the shit out of them.
Or just do weird punishments, like light nipple torture.
Yeah. I feel bad for kids that are being born today because the pendulum is starting to come back.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any weird quirks? Like, are you an OCD guy, or do you have any odd little personality things?
I have OCD. I suffer from OCD,
You do.
which I always think is a bit of a strong word.
Yeah, I was about to say, is it suffering?
No, it's the people around you who suffer.
Right. People in today's world say they suffer from things when 20 years ago they just dealt with them, But I have a little bit of the OCD thing.
How's it come out for you?
Organizing things, I think it helps with my comedy, but it hinders me in everyday life.
What do you
is this
organize?
like when you see this in front of me right now? Is it driving you nuts?
I like the yellow highlight part.
Okay.
Hi, Jeff. How are you? Jeff Ross is coming in to join us. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, hi, Brian.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
Good to see you, buddy.
How you doing?
We were just talking about Brian's talking about OCD a little bit. And what is it you organize?
Everything.
Like, is your house neat? Is everything like color coordinated, or how do you do your stuff?
Because I grew up in a big family when
Oh my gosh.
where it was completely chaotic. It was when I went to college that I realized I could start organizing things without somebody else messing it up. And I would organize my closet, like the jackets were on the right, and then the long sleeve shirts, and then the short sleeve shirts, and then the t-shirts.
Do you ever try not doing it?
Yeah, but it's not comfortable.
It just feels like something's wrong, right?
It's like I got to get it all organized.
I've seen you preparing for your act years and years and years ago, and everything is really organized. Todd Barry and I just found our way into your hotel room in Princeton once, and there was like whiteout and pencils and color-coded pencils and all this paper, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is how you get great. It's a job for him.
Sure, it's mental illness. Do you do that? Do you color coordinate? Like now, like when you're writing stuff out, is there a system you have?
To me, it's like impossible to completely organize it, but it's a constant quest. Yeah. I like to keep, but I do think it helps with the comedy because it's like you're organizing words, you're organizing bits, you're organizing everything, so it helps with that. But,
Does it drive the wife nuts?
No longer married.
Oh, you're not. Did I know that or not? I guess I
Yes,
didn't.
it drove her nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. Must have helped with the paperwork though on the way out. So,
What about your kids? Like, does that mean like you insist on they being super organized?
No. I would never put that on them.
how long have you been divorced? I'm trying to think if I knew this or not.
6 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay, then maybe I did know and just didn't remember. Okay.
6 years.
Are you dating now or no?
If there are any hot broads out there,
He is womanizing. We've already learned
That's
this.
right.
Yeah.
Is it one of those things where you get? Cause I never got married. After you're married for a while, but you're an established guy. You still look really good. You're not like you're fucking.
Are you flirty?
thank you.
No, I'm complimenting a friend.
Okay, it just came across as flirty.
Yeah, your arms look good. You got a great body. That's flirting. But do you now like try after a show? Like, hey, now I can start doing this, which I haven't done in a long time. Where you start trying to meet somebody, or are you on the dating apps, or no?
No, I don't do the apps, but it would be nice to hook up with somebody and ride the rest of this life out.
How about this? If there's any women out there and you want a handsome, really funny guy who is quite financially established, don't be a dope. Try to pick him off after Carnegie Hall this Saturday night.
Yeah, that's a good way to sell some tickets.
But because I'm OCD, line up alphabetically.
Yes. In order of ethnicity. He likes color coordination.
Yeah, organize. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
How about you, Jeff? Are you single or no?
Single, yeah.
How long?
It's been a couple years now.
Do you liking it or no?
I mean, it's the longest I've ever been single, so I guess it's all still pretty new.
Why are you? I'm meaning not like why did you break up, but why are you not trying, or you just?
I'm always trying. I just haven't found the right person.
Oh,
It's
okay.
hard.
Have you been going out like on dates?
Sure. All the time.
What happens?
They're fun. Usually fun. Try hard. I'm a good boyfriend when I find somebody.
Somebody sent me a picture of you recently. I forgot about this. It was from a dating app, and they go, "My friend wants to know if this is Jeff." And I wrote back and I go, "Yes, it's him." So I'll show it to you, and we make sure it's actually you.
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah, I hope it's
Could
not.
be a fake account.
Was
Was it on J-Date?
It was not. No, it was not.
J-Date's it's like Jewish Tinder where you swipe in the opposite direction. It's in Hebrew.
That's funny.
I didn't get that. No, I
Try
didn't.
it.
Have you ever been on J-Date before?
I have not. No.
Have you heard of it?
I have.
Yeah.
I joined a black people dating site once because I wanted to date. I haven't dated a black girl in so many years. I was like, I want to date a black girl. I
Right.
would love to. It didn't pan out.
That's a shocker. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
You didn't have success on the black dating website?
No, but why not?
I know,
The
that's
people
what-
cross race. I have. I just haven't in a long time. I just wanted to.
Did you put that in your profile? Hey guys, I might not be black, but I know people cross races. So
No.
so, you know,
But I mean, it's not that unusual a thing to date out of your.
Of course,
group.
it's not unusual.
So yeah, I just wanted
Yeah.
to.
But I don't
joined.
think that people going to a black dating website are probably looking to date interracially.
You're probably correct.
Because why would they go to a black dating
That was what my
website?
experience showed.
Yeah.
My
So
experience
there's
showed
like
you were right.
500 pictures on there, and you're the only white guy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why would a woman go to a black dating website to find Jim?
That's a correct
Okay,
guess.
okay, so you got there already.
And they did not.
Okay, all right.
Oh, there it is. J-Date.
I didn't get laid on there, but I got some great real estate tips.
Hey, were you really on it?
No. Maybe.
So you're on
Yes.
Tinder. Do you do well on the apps? They have to recognize you.
I do it. I'm on them sometimes, but I never date anybody off them. I almost use them as it's like words with friends. It's like a game to do when you're waiting for a car or on the toilet. Or
Just something to
Just
do.
swiping.
yeah, I never actually follow up. I'm kind of flaky on that.
Even if you get a match, you won't follow up?
Not really.
How come?
I don't know. I don't know.
Have you had any really good ones that you didn't follow up?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure I've blown
They
a
always
few.
have. They always have like a time limit. Bumble. Where if you don't talk within a day, it expires. Or
Well,
whatever.
Bumble is she has to talk to you first, and that when that happens, I'm finished. Like I have no shot at her looking at my picture and going, oh, I'd love to.
You don't get the messages?
No, a lot of them I think are just models trying to get likes on their Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of models, and I think they have their Instagram. Then you go there and you want to like in their pictures and
That's
follow
why
them
That's why I'm on there.
just to get likes on your
I want to
Instagram.
get likes. My likes are up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm obsessed with Brian's OCD.
You don't have the counting thing?
No.
Yeah.
No. It manifests in bizarre ways. I write down everything that I do. I used to keep track of every interview that I did.
I remember you doing that with material. You'd listen to what you did the last time or something. You'd
Yes,
record them.
I don't do it anymore. I used to record every one of these kind of interviews, and then I would write down what was, because I wanted to know what bits I did
In the interview.
Yeah, so if I came back and did a follow-up interview, I didn't want to do the same bits that I had done the previous time.
So if you go like, oh, can I get a tape of that? And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll give it to you, and they never send you the interview, do you panic because I need it for my OCD, or can you?
He would
you be able to
record it.
just blow
I
up?
would record it myself. I would bring my own tape recorder,
wow.
and I would record my own stuff.
And
Wow.
so you would write down everything you did. Do you mean task-wise too, and what you did during your day?
Yes.
Like, say you would say, I got up, I went and did this.
And yes, I write down the time that it happened, but I round it off to the closest 15-minute period.
Obviously, because otherwise it would be psychotic. Yeah, but at least you're rounding it off is cool.
So if I finish something, I will look at my watch, and if it clicks, and so I round it off to the closest 15-minute period. So if I look at my watch and it clicks from 9:07 to 9:08, I count it as 9:07, and I write it down as a 9 o'clock completion time.
But
And
if
then
it's 9:08,
but you're probably thinking, well, it probably finished after 9:07:30 if it clicked right to 9:08.
That's what I was. That's
So
what,
that
yeah.
should be a 9:08. But I go by when I look at the watch. I'm very lenient with myself. I go by when I
Obviously,
when I look at the watch.
you give yourself a break.
I give myself a break. I don't want to be crazy about it, so I write it as a 9:07 completion.
Do you have
time.
notebooks of that stuff? Mm-hmm. You do. You have notebooks of that stuff that you've written down of all these days?
I keep my daily calendar sheets of things I've done. Why? I don't know.
Do you
But
still write them down?
yes.
You still make your list. So like after this, you'd be like, okay, whatever time you get out of here, at that time I finish the interview.
Do you have a list with you or no?
No. It's back.
You
at the
ever write
hotel.
down stuff that you're not necessarily proud of when you look back at it?
Like robbed liquor store.
I don't know.
No,
like-
laid under glass coffee table.
from 9 o'clock till 10:15.
Yeah, is there stuff on the list that like probably shouldn't be made public?
That's why I live a wholesome life, so I can write everything down.
Do you think that's a phenomenal?
But if you like wasted an hour, just say you did something stupid, played a video game or watched a porno or something some dude would do, will you write that down?
No, I just write that I'm home. I don't write everything that happens while I'm at home.
I see.
You know,
Is there enough for a book in there? Like a book about being OCD? Like, is there enough of the ritual where there's enough different things where you could do that over the course of it? Brian has to go, by the way. We know we're going to break in a second.
Oh.
But like, meaning you could look at, say, you have 10 years of lists. There's enough there for a different list every day. Man, you might be able to do a book about that. Like, put it to use. That could be very funny. And OCD is something that so many people have, and it's such a common thing. If you've got these crazy lists, you ought to do something with that.
At least write an extremely detailed autobiography.
Yeah, right. With every single time
thing
from when I was born.
Yeah.
No, it's something to think about.
Yeah, I think that would be because again, it's not like you're going to be the same routine for every page. If you've got how many years of stuff would you guess that you have written down actually or logged?
Years ago, I threw away a bunch of stuff because I was trying to get past this, and I regret it to this day. Like, I had stuff written down that I had done when I was younger, and I said, I got to stop doing this, and I threw it all away. And then years later, I'm like, why did I throw all that stuff away?
How many years ago did you throw it away?
25 years ago or something.
But you have stuff from 25 years to now.
Yes.
That's fine. You don't have to go back to the beginning. 25 years is plenty of
You got
plenty of time, plenty of jotting stuff down.
It's great reading. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
I have people come over and I go, hey, I'm sure you'd want to read through my daily list of things that I've accomplished.
My activity logs.
Maybe you can write a self-help book for OCD.
He can't help himself. He's still writing the list.
I haven't. I have it. I haven't solved it.
But you've made something of yourself for a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Or you could just joke about it, make fun of it, and go, "This is what it is, and this is how it comes in." Make fun of the list, or make fun of the things you did that day.
I do. I talk about it in my act.
Oh, you
it's
do?
a new thing that I've been doing in my act. But so I do comment about it. But,
Vulnerability.
Yeah.
Scary,
I don't like it. I don't like it.
I'd go back over that stuff, and then you'll feel like, okay, there was a purpose. So we got to wrap up with Brian. He has to go. They're telling us, and we'll take a quick break. And we're going to come back with Jeff. I'm happy you're here.
What time is it? I have to write this down.
It's 10:22:30.
Okay, so that rounds off 10:15.
Carnegie Hall, congrats, buddy.
Hey, thank you, man.
Awesome.
Brian's at
Appreciate it.
Carnegie Hall, 8 o'clock Saturday. I'm at Town Hall, 9:45 Saturday. And Jeff, where are you
I'm
gonna
at the
be?
New York Comedy Club tonight.
Okay.
10:23.
Doing an improv show.
All right.
It's 10:23, so we just went up to 10:30.
Yeah, but technically we said we were done.
I looked at it at 10:22 to 10:22.
But we're still doing it right now, though.
Just giving
10:15.
himself a break.
10:15.
Give himself a break.
Right down to 10:15.
It's crazy. 10:27.
10:15.
All right. We will be back in just a minute with Jeff Ross. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys.